Hello guys, the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission (EFCC) has continued their investigation into the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs and Poverty Alleviation of Sadiya Farouk and Betta Edu, who are reportedly accused of stealing 37 billion naira and 585 million naira respectively. So with the report reaching us today is that the EFCC have seized the passport of both Sadiya Farouk and Betta Edu in order for them not to leave the country as the investigation continues. Greetings to you all my fellow Nigerians and other viewers. Hope you guys are doing fine and thank you so much for stopping by. But before we continue into the news, please help us to like and share this video so that this video will be recommended to other people. Thank you. So guys, before I move further into the news, I was just imagining in my head, like, if women can actually steal this huge amount of money, what of the men who has been in politics from day one? If not that Nigeria has a lot of corrupt politicians, Nigeria would have been the best country in Africa and all over the world. Most countries would have been depending on Nigeria to survive, but the corrupt practices has basically spoiled everything. May God help us all. Now moving further into the news, which says, the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission (EFCC) have seized the passport of the suspended Minister of Humanitarian Affairs and Poverty Alleviation, Betta Edu, and her predecessor, Sadiya Farouk, over the ongoing investigation into the scandals in the ministry. Betta Edu, who arrived at the EFCC headquarters, Abuja, at 10 a.m. on Tuesday, was still being quizzed by the Commission's investigator as of the time of filing this report. As the EFCC interrogated the suspended minister over the 44 billion naira fraud uncovered in the ministry, it was learned that the managing directors of the three commercial banks were also questioned on Tuesday over the fraud. The scandal involving Edu burst open after a leaked memo revealed that the suspended minister directed the Accountant General of the Federation, Oluwatoyin Imadin, to transfer 585 million naira to a private account owned by one Oniyelu Bridget, who the ministry claimed currently serves as a project accountant grant for vulnerable groups. The minister had claimed that the 585 million naira payment was made for vulnerable groups in Akwa Ibom, Cross River, Ogun and Lagos State, describing the allegations against her as baseless. The media assistant to the minister, Rasheed Olariwaju, said in a statement that it was legal within the civil service for such payment to be made into private accounts of staff members, especially project accountants. In defense to public pressure, the president on Monday suspended Edu and directed her to hand over to the permanent secretary in the ministry. On Tuesday, Betta Edu honored the EFCC invitation and she was subjected to marathon interrogation by investigators. It was learned that her personal and official passports were taken away by detectives and she was barred from traveling out of the country. Her predecessor, Umar Farouk, had been quizzed by investigators for 12 hours on Monday in connection with the probe into the 37 billion naira allegedly laundered during her tenure in office through a contractor, James Okwate. The ex-minister passport was also seized as part of her bail conditions before she was subsequently released late Monday night. An impeccable EFCC source said the passport of Edu and the former minister were seized to deter them for fleeing the country while the investigation subsists. The commission has seized the passport of two ministers, Sadiya Farouk and Betta Edu. We have also seized Ms. Halima Sheu's passport pending the conclusion of investigations. The commission does not want to risk having any of them leave the country while they still have questions to answer, the source said. The lawyer to the former minister, Dipu Okpeseye, could not be reached for comment on his client Odi as he did not respond to phone calls. He also did not respond to a message seeking his comment. Also, effort to get Edu did not succeed. We could not immediately confirm whether she was released on Tuesday night. Apart from Edu, Ms. Halima Sheu, the National Coordinator and CEO to the National Social Investment Program, an agency under the Humanitarian Ministry, had been similarly suspended indefinitely over alleged financial misappropriation. Shehu had been arrested and questioned by EFCC in connection with the movement of the 44 billion naira from the NSIPA account to some suspicious private and corporate accounts within the last 4 days in December 2023. The huge sum was reportedly moved without presidential approval. As part of her bail conditions, Shehu has been reporting to the EFCC office every day to assist investigators. Before her appointment, Shehu worked as the national coordinator of the Conditional Cash Transfer Program under former President Muhammadu Buhari. Top EFCC sources confirmed the probe of the senior bank executives to our correspondent on Tuesday. An impeccable EFCC source revealed that the banks were deeply involved in the fraud under investigation. The source revealed the MDs of the banks were grilled by our interrogators at the EFCC headquarters on Tuesday. They were invited and are being probed in connection with the uncovered 44 billion naira fraud and the 585 million naira involving Halima Shehu and Betta Edu. The suspended minister and the coordinator are both giving new revelations during their interrogations, and the investigation is still ongoing. Meanwhile, giving his opinion on the Ofodi scandals, the 2023 presidential candidate of the People's Democratic Party and former Vice President Atiku Abubakar accused the All Progressive Congress of using the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs and Poverty Alleviation as a cash cow for successive governments. Atiku said the suspension of the minister Edu was commendable but not enough. Atiku, in a statement by his special assistant public communication on Tuesday, described as unfortunate that a program that was designed to lift over 100 million Nigerians out of extreme poverty had allegedly become a cash cow for successive APC governments. He said, "While Tinubu deserves commendation for suspending Edu, we believe this is a belated move. Firstly, he had no business appointing her as a minister of such a sensitive ministry in the first place. Tinubu put politics ahead of competence, hence this scandal. What experience did Betta have in the development sector? How was Iman Ibrahim with her wealth of experience overlooked? How did the chief of staff to the president, Femi Gbajabiamila, stand as Betta Edu referee during her clearance at the Senate?" Atiku, who called for reform of the ministry, alleged that it was not only Edu that was involved in the transactions. Betta Edu should not be the fall guy. Others who have remotely and wickedly benefited from money that was meant for poor Nigerians ought to be fished at, probed, and persecuted too. It is demonic and wicked to steal in the name of the poor, he stated. The statement read in part, "There is a need for the government to reform the Humanitarian Affairs Ministry and other interventionist program that had become an ATM and POS for those in power." He noted that the fact that the previous Humanitarian Affairs Minister, Sadiya Umar Farouk, was also being probed for 37 billion naira fraud was evidence that immediate and urgent actions need to be taken to reform the ministry. Even during the COVID-19 lockdown, Umar Farouk continued to implement the school feeding program. She ridiculously claimed that the food would be delivered to the students at home since school were shut. Today, Betta Edu claims that over 3 million households got 20,000 naira each. Sadly, there is no evidence of millions of Nigerians getting such money. This shows that money has just been going into private pockets. The APC has weaponized poverty and hunger to control the minds of the vulnerable masses. And it is even worse that they have devised a method to use poverty as an instrument of official corruption, the former Vice President of Nigeria, Atiku Abubakar, stated. So my people, I'm not going to say much, but I just pray that these evil doers, these corrupt leaders face their nemesis, and one day that they will reap what they sow. Imagine putting millions of Nigerians into abject poverty, all because of greed. Imagine this is the department that is supposed to solve poverty in Nigeria. Now these departments are the ones looting billions of money. It shall never be well with them. Our prayer now is that anyone who is found guilty of these allegations should be punished accordingly. And this money that are being recovered, that they should be used to maintain the folly sectors in this country. Alright guys, so that will be all today. Please let us know your opinion in the comment section, and please don't forget to like and share this video so that this video will be recommended to other people. Thank you very much for your time.